We do a lot of nonfiction books for business and educators. And one of the questions I get a lot is, okay, now that I have my book about maybe part memoir, part how-to book on this particular topic, do I need a workbook? Because a lot of our authors will also be trainers and consultants, and they may go into a large company like a financial services company, and that company will want them to do a training. So it's going to be easier if you've got a workbook. Some of the things to think about whether or not, and to help you decide whether you want a workbook, is a workbook. Well, if you're doing those types of workshops, it'll be more easy to engage your audience. If you're in person or online, a workbook is something that we're going to add page numbers inside, and we're going to help you do fill in the blanks and ask questions, and we're going to make sure they have plenty of room to write in it. So whether they're online or in person, you can guide them through the steps. It's also great if they're going to be doing the training themselves. So maybe they don't have access to you for this particular workbook. You can design it and write the instructions so that it's kind of a self-help book, in that they can answer this question, fill in the blanks, answer this question, fill in the blanks, and then it gives them a summary at the end. The other thing is that it will create participation and more closely engage them in your big mission. So if you are offering a workbook, you can add prompts and concepts and ideas within those questions that reinforces what your big message is. Because if you've heard me once, you've heard me 1,000 times. And I just posted about this the other day on Facebook, was people are going to buy your message before they buy your book. They want to buy into a bigger picture of, why do you do this? Why do you spend almost 24/7 working with whatever it is that you do? What makes you bigger, better, smarter than the other guy? And once they realize that they are buying into your mission, it's easier to help you sell them one more part of that, which happens to be the workbook. Your workbook also becomes a practical application. It tells them you can offer within your workbook ways that, okay, now that you have this knowledge, you can take this knowledge back to your team and you can initiate it with these 3 easy steps. Now that we've identified what your goals are, those are the types of questions and answers that you can generate from creating a workbook. That one of the other fun parts, and we've even had people create puzzles and exercises and games within workbooks, so that, because just like if you were speaking to a live audience, you're going to have what I call valleys and peaks in your speech, and you may have them stand up, you may have them do an exercise. Those things can also be written into your workbook, so that I've even seen authors who will say, now's a great time to take a break, walk away from the workbook, take a walk, have lunch, take a break, and think about what we've learned up to this point. You can write that into the workbook, and you'll be amazed. People love to be told what to do, which is fun. So you just tell them, now's a good time to take a break, come back in about a half an hour, and they'll come back. Nobody's watching them, but they'll come back in about a half an hour, because that's what you've told them to do. So it's a fun way to explain what it is you do, your bigger mission, and then it also allows them to participate in that and buy into. People are looking for that sense of community. And I started talking about that right after the pandemic, and we're still talking about it. Pandemic was 2021, 22-ish, 23. And even to this day, people are still looking for community, no matter, and everybody defines it differently. The other thing about having a workbook is that you're immediately adding perceived value to your brand. And yes, they can buy your ebook, they can buy your paperback or your hardback. Now they can also buy another source of income for you, which is your workbook. People will ask, well, should I just have my workbook and do an online course, or should I have a paperback and should I have something they can write in? People like both. You're going to have followers who want online only, and you'll also have followers who want to engage with you. That's, if it's me, I want something I can write in. I want something I can highlight. I need to be doodling while you're talking to me, because that embeds it into my brain. That's just the type of person that I am and how I retain information. You're adding value not only to your brand, but you're making your brand more attractive to the readers. It not only serves as an additional stream of revenue, but Again, it establishes you a bigger stake that says, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. I'm Cathy Davis, daviscreativepublishing.com. If you're ready to write that book you've been thinking about, give me a call. We're Ghost Publishers of solo books and anthologies. We do all the work and you get all the accolades.